Hey, all Brad here with another quick video. A good customer of mine, Dave, sent in actually three board sets. He sent in a Joust, a Robotron, and a Moon Patrol, all with the linear power supply to completely go through and rebuild, restore. So I started with the Moon Patrol. He was having some actual issues with this one. So I went through the board set, changed all the electrolytic capacitors. Someone had monkeyed quite a few of the bipolar proms, had rotted legs, and somebody had done a pretty decent job at repairing them, but they were pretty rough and tore the sockets up. So I changed all the sockets, put in new bipolars that I program, and again cleaned the edge connector on it, everything. And then the Z80 CPU had a couple corroded legs on it that were real soft and bendy, so I swapped that out and went through and did a few other things to clean it up as well. I'll go through that. And then the power supply got a full strip down rebuild. Both of the bottle cap TO3 power transistors were pretty rusty and the screws are rusty, so I swapped all those out. We've got some new sill pads underneath, and I'll go through that real quick. So let me switch over to the bench cam. We'll take a look at everything here. So here is the linear power supply from the Moon Patrol. Turned out real nice. All new Molex headers, all new electrolytics. We've got the precision 10-turn potentiometer for the 5 volts. We have both of the regulators socketed now. And then back here is the heat sink, and you can see we've got new sill pads underneath, new power transistors, new screws as well. They were pretty rusted out, the original ones. And then I do have the super bright LEDs on here. I'll power this guy up. You can see they're pretty bright. And then I also put a heat sink on the minus 5 volt regulator, which was never there originally. Just they do get pretty warm if they're drawn anywhere near 3/4 to an amp, which they typically don't. But anyway, I have a bunch of these TO220 heat sinks, and so I've been putting those on lately on these rebuilds. So, and then here's all the old parts in the power supply. You can see the bridge rectifiers. There's TO3s, how rusty they were in that bag. The other ones over here. Screws are in there, all the big caps and stuff like that. And then the Moon Patrol, here's the bipolars. I think I had mentioned someone did a pretty good job actually. They actually ground down through the plastic. All those pins you see on there soldered and bent. They're round. Pretty good job actually, but they're just kind of sketchy after that. So there's the sockets as well, because those big round pins kind of splayed open these sockets for a flat pin. And then here on the Z80, you can see a couple of the pins. They've got some corrosion. There's another one just broke off. The side of the board that faced up tends to have dust and stuff settle on it, and then moisture comes in and you get some corrosion, and they just get real soft. So she got a new one. Here's the board set. I do go through and polish both sides of the edge connector here and put some deoxide on it. Here's the new Z80 back here. Soundboard gets all new electrolytics, even under this heat sink for the amplifier. There's a new electrolytic there. I do change that blue teardrop tantalum out with a nice new one with a higher voltage rating. I do pull all the socketed ICs and clean the legs. These are both the sound generators. This is a 6803 CPU. Pull the EEPROM out. And again, there's a lot of electrolytics on the soundboard. And then there's a couple of electrolytics here on the main board for the soft start. And then up here they had put some bodged capacitors. If you look in the photos, they're originally aluminum round electrolytics, and I put these nice little tantalums in here. They're much cleaner on the board. So did that and cleaned up some other stuff on the other boards. Again, the bipolars are down. This is a 4-board stack here, so it's been completely stripped apart. So let me go ahead and switch over, and we'll do a little gameplay and wrap this video up. Moon Patrol boots pretty darn quick. So I do have the little remote power switch, so I'll go ahead and power this up, and it should come pretty much right up. So you can see she goes right into track mode, and I've got my little PlayStation controller here that I've configured for Moon Patrol, so I'll go ahead and coin it up. Should be hearing the audio there, I think, and then I'll hit start. Test and jump here a little bit. copy. So you can see she's playing real good. There's a mode on here we can do. Let me power it off real quick. There's two banks of eight pin jumper dip switches here, and I'm going to turn the bottom row number 2, switch 8 on, and that puts us into a diagnostic mode here. You'll see on the screen. So it's doing some tests right now of checksums, and once it starts testing the ROM, you'll see her. There she goes. It's testing the ROM right now. And it shows us the RAM's good, and then all the ROMs. Now keep in mind on this board, there's the 4 boards. The top one's sound. The second one, or the large board, is the main MPU board, and then under that you have the character board, and then the very bottom is the scrolling video. And the bottom 2 boards have EPROMs and stuff that aren't accessible from the CPU. The CPU just asks to send stuff out, and those boards kind of do it on their own. So everything that can be tested from the CPU on the main MPU board is here on the screen. So then we go in where we can see there's some diagnostic screens here. So I/O port sounds. Let's go through a couple of the sounds, and I'll just scroll through these. Here's your typical background music. Opening. And then they do give you the ability to look at some of the color bars, I believe, in here. There's some color, red, green, blue. If you're going to set your screen data, you can get a cross patch pattern here for doing convergence and that sort of thing. Again, TPG is usually your way to go, a test pattern generator for all that kind of stuff. Characters will let you look at some of the sprites on there. And then the I/O, not sure if I can cleanly get out of that, but as you press buttons, this lets you see all of the switch inputs from your joysticks, and you can see I'm just randomly hitting coin and moving the joystick here and toggling stuff. So, and it'll also read the dip switch positions in here, I think on those one of the rows there. So, and again, getting out of that's not clean. So let me switch that dip switch back, so I don't forget, and send it home like that. So you can see she goes right into a track mode. So I'm going to wrap this video up there. I'm going to get started on the probably the Joust or Robotron, whichever one's closest. They're both in pretty much the same condition. And once I get those wrapped up, we'll get them coming back to you, Dave. So thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.